I love honey fragrances. Honey mixed with floral gives all kinds of beautiful feminine energy, and I can't get enough of that. And because of that, I've fallen in love with Jean Paul Gaultier's Scandal and many of the fragrances in that line. Now, this honey leaning fragrances and the many flankers that have come along are some of my favorite flirty fragrances to reach for. And in today's video, I'm going to go through the 4 fragrances that I have in my collection, and I'll let you know what they smell like, what they give, and which one I think is the best of the bunch. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get into it.
I hope I'm not wasting my time, jumping all the way in too deep. I hope you're not.
Hi, I'm Jeanique, and I have 4 JPG Scandal fragrances. Scandal by Night, so Scandal, Scandal at Parfum, and the original that I want to talk through today. There are 2 other fragrances in the line, Scandal at Paris and Scandal Gold, I think it is. I don't have those 2, so I can't rope them into the conversation and compare them alongside these 4. But if you're considering any of these 4, you want to know which one's the best one, stick around and let's talk about it. Now, if you like this kind of video, you love a fragrance review, then don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you've already done so, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks for stopping by again. You're awesome, you're amazing, and you make wonderful life decisions. Now, let's get into it.
I can tell what's on your mind, come get what's there for ya. All my love is on the line, and it's up to ya. You ain't got.
So let's start off with Scandal EDP, the original in this bunch, and basically the jumping off point for everything else. Now, this is a mix of white florals with citrus and some greener notes, as well as something kind of smoky and sultry in the base. There is no note that screams sultry, sexy, smoky, but there's definitely something here. This is a beautiful fragrance. If you love a tartar white floral kind of fragrance, it's classic in a lot of ways, incredibly beautiful, similar to fragrances like Donna Born in Roma from Valentino. It's giving very much that vibe. So let's start off and say, in the opening, you have a bit of a citrusy bite from Blood Orange. It's a little bit sour, but not overly so. Then you have this collection of white florals, from greener white florals like Lily of the Valley and Jasmine, that are very much in here, cutting through a lot of the sweetness to give us something a little bit sharp. There's a patchouli in here. It's not a very dirty patchouli, but it's definitely there, very much pronounced, and you know, calling on us. Now, patchouli often gives fragrance a bit more longevity, which is what we're getting in this fragrance. Now, a lot of those sharper, greener, fresher takes on white florals are balanced out by more soft, sweet, sultry white florals like orange blossom and gardenia, making this feel really full and big and enveloping. It is a beautiful fragrance. Now, in the base of this, there's something a little dark and mysterious to it, like it has ambergris or vetiver in the base to help build out the sultriness of it. This is, I would say, the most versatile because this can go from day to night, from date night to work time, and it fits in all of it. And bringing everything together is both beeswax and honey. That hint of sweetness coming through from the very top of the fragrance to the dry down is this really like syrupy sweetness that you cannot get enough of. Now, the beeswax sometimes gives a little bit of an animalic touch that again helps to just bring in a lot more sexiness, but the animalics in here are really subtle. They're barely there, you barely register them. I would say this is hard not to enjoy. This is an easy reach floral fragrance with hints of sweetness and citrus that can work regardless of context, and I get why this was the starting off point for JPG. Now, with Scandal by Night, this guy here with a slightly darker juice but very similar bottle, my favorite of the bunch, maybe. I love this fragrance for a lot of reasons, and let's get into it. Now, Scandal by Night skews a lot sweeter. The honey comes through a lot more, and it's a little bit sticky, it's a little bit heavy, but it never gets just really thick on the skin. It always feels like it is surrounding you, enveloping you. It has a cooler texture to it. It's not too warm. It is a beautiful beautiful take on honey, and I really enjoy how sweet and playful this is. This has some other fruit notes in here that I really appreciate, like cherry, to make this feel a little bit rounder and fuller. That darker fruit coming in here adds a bit of dimension to this fragrance that I think is really, really lovely. The white florals in here aren't as crisp and as sharp as the original, so instead of leaning in heavy on like the jasmine and the lily of the valley of the original, we get a lot more of the orange blossom, the tuberose. We also have a little bit of vanilla and tonka in here for a little bit of spiciness. Not too heavy, not too creamy, but it helps to round things out and it makes it feel really full and womanly. Now I understand why this is called Scandal by Night, because this feels like a very flirty, sexy date night fragrance, where the original is really versatile and you can take it into daytime and to work time. This is very much a nighttime, playtime type of fragrance, but this can go on vacation. It's not just for night, it's nights and days away from home. You know what I mean? The vibe of this is very much fun and playful. It skews a lot sweeter. So if you enjoy a cherry infused, sweeter white floral fragrance, this does it, and it's a really beautiful take on everything. I love this one. Like I said, it might be my favorite of the bunch, but there's another one coming up that I also love very, very much. Now let's talk about So Scandal, this guy here. No, this is arguably my least favorite of all the Scandals. It is a nice fragrance, right? It is raspberry, it's tuberose, it's orange blossom, but it's the least scandalous of the bunch. It is a far more conservative take on this line. It doesn't lean in heavy with a lot of honey or beeswax or any of those sort of sticky gourmand notes, and the fruit is really restrained. It's a mostly tart raspberry that's in here, really fresh, as well as these white floral notes that are coming through as their younger, fresher selves. This is the work fragrance of the bunch, the daytime fragrance of the bunch. Really pretty. If you like a more sort of mellowed out white floral fragrance that isn't too soft, it keeps and retains some of the crispness. I think there's jasmine in here. Some of the freshness, some of the crispness of the fragrance is very much present in here, but it does not have that beautiful sort of sweet, supple, white floral sort of vibe of some of the others. Everything is lighter, airier, fresher, and more work appropriate in this. So if you're looking for a Scandal fragrance that doesn't skew as sweet or too green or anything, just something that plays the middle in a really subtle way, then I think So Scandal does that. But in terms of how it compares to the rest, it really doesn't, not in my opinion. There's a work fragrance, that's where I wear it to, but I'm not really pulling for this at any other time. Now let's get into the Scandal that is vying for the #1 spot. Y'all know this one because I featured her in my caramel fragrances video, because it's such a good fragrance, right? Now this is caramel instead of honey for the most part, with other white florals like tuberose at work. It is very creamy. It is a very creamy, sticky, heavy, sweet, and it brings together the best of white florals with gourmand elements. But this one, unlike the Scandal by Night, instead of skewing more fruity than anything else, this one skews a lot more gourmand in terms of those like heavier textures and the caramel coming through and just really presenting itself in a forward way. The tuberose in here is really heavy and creamy, almost smelling a little coconutty. It is really beautiful if you love a heavier fragrance. Now this is the winter Scandal to end all winter Scandals, and this is Scandal Le Parfum, and I can see why, right? It takes so many of those beautiful elements and leans in heavy on those heavier dimensions, making this a beautiful nighttime, daytime, wintertime cozy fragrance that I absolutely love. So if you're into more gourmands and you're looking at the Scandal line, this is the way to go if you want something a bit stickier, heavier, and creamier, but still having that tuberose coming through, that orange blossom coming through, and being really beautiful to balance everything out. Like I said, Scandal by Night might be my favorite. This might be my other favorite, depending on the time of year. I love this for winter. I love that one for spring. I love them all though. because they're really lovely, and I think they get it right as far as like sexy florals go. They just do it so well. And can we get into these bottles? They're so good, y'all. Like, I really enjoy them. They might be a little gauche, but I don't think so. I enjoy them. I love the legs in the air. Who doesn't? So that's all of them, all the Scandal fragrances in my collection. If I ever pick up the gold or Scandal La Paris, I will come back and report on those. But for now, these are the 4 that I have. I enjoy. Like I said, I wear them at different times for different reasons. Scandal Le Parfum, winter, all day, every day. Scandal at night for vacations, for springtime. And the original Scandal all year round, while So Scandal is my go-to for work. It is such a lovely white floral that doesn't skew too sweet or too heavy. So those are all of my Scandal fragrances. I hope this was helpful for you if you're looking to pick one of these up and you didn't know how they differed. I hope you know now. Thank you so much for stopping by, checking out this video, and let me know down in the comment section which Scandal you most like or which one you most want to try. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for being here. Bye, y'all.
The wild side is a friend of mine.